In this video, we come back to the discussion on adiabatic processes. We have seen that during an adiabatic expansion, the temperature will decrease. And we also illustrated that during an adiabatic compression, the temperature will increase. We have also mentioned that the adiabatic process on a PV diagram will follow a curve that is going from one isotherm to another one. But we don't know the equation for this curve. So in this video, we will show that the equation is PV to the power gamma is a constant, which can be combined with PV equal nRT to give you another relation. TV to the power gamma minus 1 is a constant. Now, the derivation combines several important concepts, and so we will go through it as an example of application of these concepts. First, we will write the change of internal energy du equal nCV dt. And so at this point, you should say, wait a minute, we're talking about an adiabatic process. So a constant volume process is not the same, right? So why do we write nCV dt? Right. This is the first important concept we use here. Remember that for an ideal gas, du only depends on temperature. It does not depend on the process. And so that means that you can use any process which does the same temperature change to calculate du. And so choosing an isochoric process is convenient because there is no work. And so you can simply write du equal nCV dt. Then we write the work for the process. We don't know how to calculate the work, but at least we can write that it is PdV, right? This is always true. And then the definition of an adiabatic process is that there is no heat transfer, so delta Q is equal to 0. After this, we can write the first law of thermodynamics, and we get du is equal to minus dW, which gives us nCV dt is equal to minus PdV. Now, at this point, we have a relation between the temperature, the pressure, and the volume. But the relations that we're trying to derive only have two variables, right? So we can try to remove one. For example, using PV equal nRT, you can replace the pressure by nRT over V, right? Then we can regroup the terms with temperature and the terms with volume together, and we obtain dt over T plus R over CV dV over V is equal to 0. Now, let's do a side note here on R over CV. Last time we have seen that Cp minus Cv is equal to R. And since Cp over Cv is equal to gamma, then we have that R over Cv is equal to gamma minus 1. So we can rewrite the equation as dt over T plus gamma minus 1 dV over V is equal to 0. Now let's pause here for a second. You see that if you have an expansion, dV is positive, then since gamma minus 1 is positive because gamma is larger than 1, then a positive dV will imply a negative dt. So we find that during an expansion, the temperature will decrease, and during a compression, the temperature will increase. Right? So we are on a good track. The final trick here is to take the primitives of dt over t and dv over v. And we get ln of t plus gamma minus 1 ln of v is a constant. And you can check that if you take the derivative of this, then you get the previous relation. Then we can use the properties of the logarithm to rewrite this equation as ln of tv to the power gamma minus 1 is equal to a constant. And this gives us one of the relations we're looking for. tv to the power gamma minus 1 is a constant. Again, you see that if the volume increases, then the temperature decreases. And if the volume decreases, then the temperature increases. Right? This relation just tells you exactly how T and V are related. Now, to get the relation between P and V, then you can replace T by PV over NR. And so you have V times V to the power gamma minus 1. And this gives you that PV to the power gamma is equal to a constant. I should say that the constant is not the same in this formula, of course, right? It is a constant during the process. It's not the same constant for PV to the power gamma and TV to the power gamma minus 1, but it's a constant during the process. So for example, P initial, V initial to the power gamma is equal to P final, V final to the power gamma. And we can use this to figure out the work done by an ideal gas during an adiabatic process. Again, since it is adiabatic, then there are no heat transfer, so the work W is equal to minus delta U. And using the same idea as before, you can calculate delta U as NCV delta T. Right? Again, here we're using the fact that delta U does not depend on the process, only on the temperature change. And so the work is equal to NCV T initial minus T final. And so again, here you see that for an expansion, the work done by the gas is positive, and T final will have to be colder than T initial. And for a compression, the work done by the gas is negative, and T final is warmer than T initial. Okay, but if you don't know the initial and final temperatures, then you can use PV equal nRT to write this as a function of pressure and volume. Right? So the work will be equal to CV over R times P initial V initial minus P final V final. And since we have seen a relation between CV over R and gamma, then CV over R is 1 over gamma minus 1. And so the work is 1 over gamma minus 1 times P initial V initial minus P final V final. All right, so this concludes our discussion on adiabatic processes. And remember, for an adiabatic expansion, the temperature decreases, and for an adiabatic compression, the temperature increases. Right? Here is one more demo that you can do at home to remember this. Right? If you exhale with your mouth open, then the air is warm, and this is because the air is at the temperature of your body. But if you exhale with your mouth almost closed, then you feel that the air is cold, and this is because the air undergoes a rapid expansion.